This is Granny here. Good Monday night, November the 8th, 2020. Yay! I dressed up so when we finish our reading, I'll kind of strut my stuff. I wanted to look extra special because remember last week we showed you no name on the birth certificate. This week, officially, I want to show you Granny has her original birth certificate. It took some time to get it, but I just want to share with you this Monday night. If you would help me say happy birthday to Sharon Scott, it's her birthday. I won't tell her age, but yay, happy birthday to Sharon. Happy birthday to Sharon. We're excited about that. She's a year older. I put extra bling bling on. This is a sequence top because I just wanted to do a little jig and show you that I'm excited because I have showed you and I'll show you again before we finish how excited I am to have my birth certificate. We're going to start where we left out. I'm on page 11 for those of you that have the book. You hear about it, but I personally know the destructiveness associated with alcoholism. Another book, another chapter. But briefly, the state of Indiana decided they had done enough to help my dad. They exercised the power of their authority and made the decision to remove all 9 of us on October the 7th, 1965, and I was awarded the state at age 15. I'm going to take a break. They didn't just take us, they split us up. Our younger four siblings, 5 siblings, were sent to different foster homes, two, and one. Our older four, which included myself, my older sister, my brother, and Sharon, were transported from Indiana across state lines to Missouri. That's another chapter, but at that particular time, nobody wanted 4 teenagers. And so we were literally transferred to the state of Missouri, placed in the care, and I say this not to be mean, of a relative of my mom's. They were paid to keep us. We had a caseworker assigned to us. And so when we had different problems, we tried to communicate with the caseworker. And we were told at that particular time, this is the God heaven no truth, nobody wanted 4 black teenagers. And so stick together and do the best you can. And we did do that. In another chapter, I speak about the sexual abuse that I encountered and what it was like to call authorities and they did nothing. Okay? We were placed in foster homes separated by age and gender. I can remember to this day feeling so helpless, mad at my dad for his drinking and my mom for being sick. I blamed them both. I really did because I thought had not my dad stood up for us, my dad went to court, my grandmother went to court. Instead of them thinking about us, they exercised their own dislike for one another in the court. So when that judge took that stick and hit and said, Ward of the state of Indiana, that settled right then and there. There was nothing we could say. There was nothing we could do. The state of Indiana intervened. I knew if she could just come home, my mom, all of us, this would not be happening. I thought about running away and abandoning my sisters and brothers. I wish my mom hadn't had so many children. I blamed them all for invading my life and my time with my mom. I had not had the chance to have my own bedroom, no experience having new clothes that were not hand me downs to my older sister. Take a break. My older sister was beautiful, and she was the first female grandchild. And even though we were poor, you would have thought we were rich because everything that they could lavish on her, they did. And I don't blame her. I blame the family. Sometimes, grannies, you make a difference in kids, and you don't know the effect that that has on the other kids. And I just couldn't understand. Well, she got all the nice things. She got the attention. She was beautiful. If I could show you a picture, pretty black chocolate face. She had nice curly hair. Her baby picture. If I could show you her baby picture. And then she had a name like Carol Janae. Who gets a name like that and you look like us? My sister did. How I hated those black and white Oxford shoes of hers I had to wear. Ah, y'all know them big, clunky looking black. I had to wear those shoes. I was never going to know what it felt like to be special. In my 15-year-old mind, these actions started the progression of my mom's early death at the age of 41. I'm going to take a break. Our mom was 41 when she died. She did not believe in birth control. And yes, she had us bam, 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 bam. But she never regretted it. Never regretted it. And so years later, I had to learn to forgive my mom because I thought every time I turn around, there's a new baby coming in here. Every time. But that was her choice. That was not my choice, Granny. Okay? Vicariously, I felt the shame, humiliation, and the helplessness she must have felt after the state interceded and placed her children in foster homes. This was more than she could bear. Our mom, died in March of 1966. In fact, it was the 18th of March, leaving her 9 children unshielded from the cruelties of life and many of the pains associated with having our own scarlet letter, that deep ebony hue of God's love that was more than not the ridicule of white America and even more regrettable, my own people. We all possess the mark. Now, years later, and guess what? I discovered the birth certificate that I applied for so I could travel and witness firsthand all the places my mom had shared with us as a child, even though my birth certificate had no name on it. It simply had these words printed in solid black, ambiguous letters: infant, baby, Greer girl. What a shock to look down on a piece of paper and realize my name wasn't even important enough to be placed on it. Now, how was I supposed to get my passport? And who was going to let my bald black self into their country without proof of identification? I wondered if my past had come full circle. Was I being punished once again for dreaming about me and making plans to venture outside the boundaries I had lived in for such a long time? Or was this just another one of those injustices I had to learn to live with? Well, it took some intervention and work, but something wonderful happened to me just a few days before my 55th birthday. One of my sisters surprised me, and I'm happy to say that at age 55, I now have a birth certificate with my full name on it: Celestine Greer. Yay! The year I was born, and the state of Indiana still on it. I'm on my way now, baby. My old hands are lifted up, praising God for another great opportunity to witness His love on my behalf. To this day, I still don't know why my name was never on my birth certificate, but that's water under the bridge now. My past has taught me to push forward regardless of the government cheese and the social stigmas attached to my family and me. It's the past, and I can use it as a stepping stone to climb to new adventures. Or I can continue to hide in the closet of sadness and shame and continually living as a 15-year-old seeking validation from others who have no clues of my worth. What did I say? People don't know and they don't value your worth. And unless you, Granny, come out of the closet, I'm a witness of shame. Maybe you don't have shame, of living with an inferiority complex, low self esteem. You have to push your way out. You have to tell yourself that you are valuable and you worth it. You have to find, I don't want to bring church in here, but you have to find a scripture. And my scripture is Psalms chapter 139, verses 14 and 15. And I'm going to say it. I know this is YouTube, but it just simply says, and I say this to myself. I have it on the walls in my bedroom. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and my soul know it right well. If I didn't know on the inside that I was okay, my outside wouldn't look like this. You have to tell yourself, Granny, as you ease your hands up in the midst of whatever you're going through. And I know a lot of people wonder, well, the book is Granny coming out of the closet. These are closets that I hid in. Hear me good. These are closets that I made for myself. Didn't nobody else do this but Celeste. And once I found out, you got to get out, Granny. How do you get out? One step at a time. Is it easy? No, it ain't easy because it's comfortable hiding. It's comfortable not dealing with the realities of life. And that's where I was. I was stuck, Granny. Hear me good. I was stuck and enjoyed it. I'm telling you the truth. You can get to a place in your life where you like pity. You like people saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry you went to foster home." Come on. That's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap. I had to tell myself up here and up here that it's going to be okay. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my parents for what I was feeling, Granny. And whoever I'm talking to, whoever's brave enough to listen to it, you have to want more for yourself. You have to tell yourself, my brothers and sisters, I tell my grandkids, you are valuable. Our story is not a sad story. Our story is what happens when you overcome. My baby sister, she ain't gonna like this, but she served this country for over 25 years. Service. Most of us, Carol, Celeste, we were ushers in our church serving. You understand? We got busy and it took off of us the shame and guilt that I don't know about them, but it took off of me feeling like I was not worthy. We all of us, except one brother, two brothers went to college and we're college educated. And you say, what does that have to do with Granny coming out of the closet? Our mom and dad set the stage. Hear me good. Whoever's listening to me. My mom, our mom read to us. She whet our appetites. You understand? We saw our dad going to work. I said earlier, my dad was granted a full military service. He's in Battle Creek. We've gone to see him. We sat on the grave and said some things to him that are funny. But I'm saying this, Granny, as you come out of the closet of whatever has held you in bondage, you have a life to live and you have a purpose. This is my journey, and you may not understand. But why is she talking about the birth certificate? Because it's what I experienced. This is me, Celestine Greer. It says, I can use it as a stepping stone to climb to new adventures, or I continue to hide in the closet of sadness and shame and continually living as a 15-year-old seeking validation from others who have no clue of my worth. Grannies across this great world we live in, lift up your hands, lift them high and touch the sky, lift them higher than high, and do more than just enough to get by. It is your time to shine, Granny. Come out of the closet. Come out of the closet, Granny. Lift your hands like mine's are right now. Not later and not in the sweet old by and by. But now, Granny. But now, Granny. Look at this. I am so grateful. So grateful. I'm going to share this with you guys. 2 weeks ago, I spent almost 5 days in the hospital, Grannies. Hear me good. Not a sad story, but I want you to know how you have to fight your way. Worked 2 jobs that particular day, went to a second job, and I was short of breath. I've been having trouble with shortness of breath, and I'm saying this to help somebody. Your health has to take a priority over everything you do, Granny, in order for you to raise your hands. I didn't put it on Facebook. My family knew, but I thought, I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me. And I mean that. I don't want you to feel sorry for the fact that there was no name on my birth certificate. But I'm telling you, we are overcomers. I was in the hospital, fluid around the lungs, fluid around the heart. Had no idea I was swimming in water. But I'm here today, and I'm here to tell you, Granny, whatever you are facing, if you don't have enough money to make ends meet, talk to God. If you don't have food, talk to God. Seriously, you got to come out of that closet, Granny. When they discharged me, and I'm telling you, was I scared? I was afraid. My blood pressure had skyrocketed. They put me in that room with the big light, and I said this to the nurse, why am I in this room? They put you in the trauma room where they got the crash cart, and I'm saying, no, ain't nothing gonna happen. But they were preparing because they thought old girl was gonna have a stroke. My blood pressure was 220 over 117. This is the truth. I will not lie. And when I looked up and saw that big light, and I asked the nurse, why y'all got me in here? And he was a male nurse. He said, uh, this is where if something happens. And I thought, oh no. We coming out of here. And I said to him, you got to get me out of here. And I meant that. I said, you got to get me out of here. Grannies, whatever you're going through, whatever closet, and I know it says Granny's old hands. What has she been doing with them? She's coming out of the closet. I lift my hands, guys, stayed in that hospital and wondering, is this how it's going to end? Is this it? Cardiologist, kidney doctor, they all came in and said what they had to say. They were able to get the fluid off. And I'm thinking, never again. Grannies, do what you have to do to, first of all, maintain your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And yeah, I'm going off script, and some of you probably won't listen to me again, but it's important that you know your body is all you got to house your spirit, man. Take care of it, grannies. Take care of it. So even if you don't have a name on your birth certificate, you can strut your stuff. This is Celestine Starks. So happy to be here with you. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. And grannies, lift your hands. Lift your hands, granny, as high as you can. Come out of the closet. You and only you can open that door. I can I can say it. I can live it myself, but until you come to the realization that you're valuable, those 9 kids that were taken in 1965 have made a tremendous contribution to our world. And I'm talking about us. We've done well. My mom would be so proud of us. My dad would be so proud of us. We're not ashamed of anything. The past is the past, and that's where we have to leave it and move forward. Grannies, I need you to do one more thing. Let's wish Sharon Scott a happy birthday. We call her Thunder because she's so short and she think people scared of her. And she always trying to boss people that are taller than she. But today is her birthday tonight, November the 8th. This is her birthday. I won't tell you her age. To my sisters in Mississippi, I love you dearly. You know I love you. To my brother, I love you. To my kids, my grandkids that helped me make this happen. I am so grateful for another opportunity to come before you and say, has it been worth it to come out the closet? It has to me. You may not understand, but to me, this is Granny Celestine Starks with all of her bling. Look at this. I told you I love silver. This is a sequence top, guys, and you see my little hat. And look at these old earrings. And you know, of course, my hilt. Let's take them off. Woo! Ooh. Granny, got it going on. Monday night. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another chapter. Let me tell you what the next chapter is because we forget to do this so you can follow along if you have the book. The next chapter is this is a true story. The lights really do go out. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Join us next week. This is Granny saying, lift up your hands. Lift up your hands. Enjoy the rest of this night, Monday night. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of football. But Granny is saying thank you so much for joining me. God bless.